My earliest memory in life is when I was about 2 years old, playing baseball in the backyard with my father. And I remember wondering, which side of the plate should I stand on? And I said, Dad, where do I stand? He said, you get to pick whichever side you want to stand on. And I remember thinking about it hard and saying, well, Dad, which side do you stand on? And he said, I stand on this side because I'm left-handed. And I said, well, that's the side I'm fucking gonna stand on. Here we go. I'm right-handed at everything else, but to this day, I bat left-handed. And I still play baseball to this day to remind myself of my dad. Because 10 days before my 4th birthday, and this is maybe my next earliest memory, I woke up to a family friend letting me know that my father had passed away. I had no idea that he was even sick. I was oblivious, as most 3-year-olds are, to the realities of the world. And that was such a shocking moment that it's etched in my mind forever. When I was 7 years old, I began seeing a counselor, a therapist, to deal with the depression that came from that situation. And I remember in elementary school feeling like everyone else had a mom and a dad, and that I didn't have a dad, and feeling very lonely in that feeling and not really knowing how to deal with it. When I was 10 years old, I made my first all-star team at baseball. And I remember my mom telling me how proud my dad would have been if he were here. I remember imagining him in the crowd, watching me play. And I got the game-winning hit. And I remember feeling him there with me that day. Also, when I was 10 years old, my mom remarried. And I remember having all these confusing feelings, right? Like, I'm excited for my mom because she's found happiness again, but what does this mean about my dad? How does this all fit together? I mean, I like this guy, he seems like a good guy, right? But is he my dad now? And what do I call him? And I thought about it for a little while, and when I was 11 years old, I named my stepdad Popsy. I didn't want to call him Dad, but he was more than just Mike, right? So when I was 12 years old, I found out that my mom was also really sick, and that she didn't have a long time to live. And I remember praying and thinking, this isn't fair. I shouldn't have to lose both parents so early. And I remember praying to my dad up in heaven and asking him to help her through it. When I was 17 years old, I walked downstairs in the middle of the night to find my mom choking on the fluid that was filling her lungs. And my Popsy was on the phone with the ambulance, and I held my mom's hand while she struggled to breathe, and I watched her eyes roll back. And I told her that everything was gonna be okay because Bob, my dad, was with her, and that she was gonna be okay. And luckily, she was. When I was 19 years old, my biological grandfather passed away, and he was buried next to my dad. And for the first time since I was 4-ish, I saw my dad's gravesite, and I lost it. And my uncle grabbed me by the shirt collar, and he pulled me in close. He said, "What's going on with you, son?" And I said, "Not a day goes by that I don't think about what my life would have been like if my dad was still here." And he pulled me in close. He lifted me up, and I was twice his size. I felt like he lifted me off my feet. He said, "Your dad would roll over in his grave, if he heard you say that. Don't look back. Life's about moving forward. Life's about what's next." He said, "You know what the most important play in baseball is?" I said, "What?" He said, "The next one." When I was 35, my mom finally passed away. And I was able to deal with that because I knew that I could. Because when I was 4 years old, my father passed away too, and I made it through that. I'll never forget the lessons that my dad taught me, even though for most of my life he hasn't been here. If you're fortunate enough to have your father at home, call him tomorrow, call him tonight, and let him know that you love him. And if you have a son or a daughter, know that they've learned more from you than you ever tried to teach them, because my dad never said a word to me that I can remember, except for he bats on the left side. And I've learned more from him than I have from most people I'll ever meet. Thank you.